off and turn into a supercell or a severe thunderstorm here this afternoon. So we do have that severe thunderstorm watch in effect, and we have a lot of crews out watching it just in case that does happen. Back to you.
Michael, yourself, you have Chris Sander, we have Lawrence McEwen, we have Sky 5, we have Shane Helton. We've got our team out this afternoon because that risk is very much going to be there. Even though we had storms early this morning, the risk is coming in here again for this afternoon. And as we go into the evening up until 10 o'clock, watch out for that hail threat. That hail threat is going to be very, very high. Damaging winds, count on that. Flooding threat is there. The tornado risk is low, but it's not zero. Really got to watch at least this zone right here on a 1 to 10 scale. We have it at a 2. That's a low chance, but it's not zero. That does include Guthrie, OKC, Edmond, El Reno, Chickasha, Anadarko, Tuttle, Minko, Norman. As you go into Pink, Bethel Acres, Seminole, down towards Pauls Valley, Davis, and down towards Turner Falls. The threat for winds, last night we were tracking 80-mile-an-hour winds coming in here tonight. Still have some strong winds up to 70 miles per hour. That doesn't, once again, this is going to be a big-time threat because we're talking about some tremendous hail here. That's why Michael is currently in Chickasha. They're watching the storm go up because as storms develop, they can start to produce up to baseball-size hail in this pink zone right here. That does include Oklahoma City. That does include Newcastle, Blanchard, out towards Anadarko, Clinton, Hobart, Altus, down to the Red River. And then as you go east, we're talking about up to golf ball size hail between now and 10 o'clock. So yeah, the threat's going to be there. So right about 5:30, 6 o'clock, this is why we're starting to watch this area right here where Michael is, because storms can start to go up from Chickasha, Blanchard, Newcastle towards Norman here. And then we're going to see these storms become even more widespread between 6:30 to 8:30. If you're just south of downtown Oklahoma City, this is the area that I'm most concerned about, from OKC, Chickasha, down towards Purcell, Pauls Valley, and as you go just north of Ada. This will be the area to watch for some large hail.
To really take this seriously. We've already had a severe thunderstorm warning issued. Now it looks like the rotation is enough for the National Weather Service to call it a tornado warning. So again, I'm going to zoom out a little bit more so we can get a proper track in here. But again, a lot of that is still around Littleville and Highway 43. That is the critical junction I'm talking about here. So if you live anywhere near there, please get to your safe place immediately. That circulation is going to go over you. You're probably going to hear a roar. Probably because of just the straight line winds anyway going above you. But even with that little rotation, you can do a drop and go tornado. And it's still a tornado, whether if it's a touch and go or if it's on the ground for a while. It can still do a lot of damage. That's why you really need to take this one very seriously. So again, that circulation continues to go right over Littleville, right there. So again, there's the circulation embedded right in here. So that's the circulation. So as I continue to track this one out, especially on the back side, Littleville, it's happening right now. Lime Rock, right now, same goes for Ligdon Springs. Littleville, again, happening right now. Old Bethel at 538, Cottontown a little bit closer to 542. So when you see this tornado warning, they've really expanded out the box, and I think they did that for a couple of reasons. One, for the initial supercell that you're seeing near Littleville, then you have another one just to the south, and I'm going to put this in a loop, but that one's still moving due to the east, so I don't think the National Weather Service is really looking at that one per se. I think they're really just looking at it staying along that particular storm here in the Tennessee Valley. So they still have that one for Colbert and Franklin County until 5:45, even though the greatest threat from that particular storm, and I'm going to loop this over the last 30 minutes, it's still moving basically due east at 20 miles per hour. So I honestly don't know why they have that tornado warning issued for northern Franklin County, unless they really think it's going to start diving a little bit farther south, just north of Russellville. But that doesn't appear to be the trajectory of that current storm anyway. So what you're seeing in here, we're going to track this out one more time. And actually, we're going to zoom in first, because I want to get as close as I can to that circulation without having everything blocked off too much. So center circulation still appears to be pretty true. Right over Lime Rock right now, Ligdon Springs, again, next couple of minutes, if not already. Littleville, same thing. You don't have any more time to get to your safe place. You just need to hunker down and wait this thing out. Wait until that storm passes by, because between now and 5:30, we're still looking at the potential for winds up to 60 miles per hour, maybe even a touch-and-go tornado. That's what we're looking at when you look at a circulation just like this. And to give everybody their bearings with what we've already seen so far, we've already seen most of the Tennessee Valley. We've already had one round of showers and storms. They're clear out of here. So the only area seeing any activity at all still remains to be the shoals. There's a lot of intense lightning associated with this particular storm. So the lightning count at last check was around 160 for the last 15 minutes. When you look at this particular storm in general, now you're up to 204 in the last 15 minutes. So that's going to show you really the impressive nature of this supercell, this rotating supercell. So now I'm going to get rid of the lightning. Now I'm going to go in just a little bit more to give you another really good track with the latest data that just came in here. So this is why we're on air. Obviously, there's a tornado warning, but this is all a continuation of our coverage that you can count on. So Littleville, 527 happening right now. Same goes for Littleville Elementary School. Again, Littleville and Highway 43, that's the intersection of where you're going to take a direct hit from that particular storm. LaGrange School at 537, Old Bethel 539, Cottontown at 542. So again, we're still looking at this system, this storm lasting until about 5:45. Okay, we're actually now going to go to Way 31 reporter Scotty K. She's in the shoal. So exactly, Scotty, where are you and what are you seeing right now?
That's right, Chris. I am in the shoals. I'm here in Florence, and right now I'm not seeing much of anything. I'm going to take a step outside of the frame so you can see what I'm seeing. The sky looks pretty clear. However, I have heard a little bit of thunder. I've seen a few drops of rain, but nothing too major just yet. Like you said, that could change. I have heard thunder, like I said, but right now it's pretty sunny. Actually, it's a pretty beautiful day here in Florence, but we'll keep you updated if that changes. For now, I'm reporting live in Florence. Scotty K, Way 31 News.
Yeah, thank you very much, Scotty K. And I said this earlier, how Florence was going to be on the northern extent of that warning and probably to be unaffected by that storm. And so far, that's holding to be pretty true. What I want to do now, I want to go a little bit further to the south as well and inspect both of these storms. And when I last checked, with that storm to the south, it looked like that one had a little bit of rotation to it. So I want to make this a little bit bigger. So there's, again, slight rotation embedded along with that storm. Same goes with what you're seeing now as you go north right along the Colbert County and we'll call it the Colbert County-Franklin County line. So we're going to zoom in a little bit more and give you an updated track with that particular rotation. So I'm going to go back into that rotation first so I can really pinpoint exactly where that rotation is coming into play. And so far, it looks like with the latest check of the data, that rotation has increased a little bit more. Those bright pinks are not a good sign because that's indicating some very strong winds coming into that storm. So when you look at the velocity there, close to 60-mile-per-hour winds coming into that storm. Again, I don't want to say it's a slight notch. It's probably a slight notch more than anything else because you have the inflow coming here, wrapping around the backside, and this is where all the rotation is taking place between Lime Rock and Littleville. So again, Highway 43 in Littleville, that's the intersection of where we're going to see that circulation go right over. And I mentioned this before. We're going to go check out the winds again, and I'm going to do this for a reason. So what you're seeing here, this is the rotation, and I talked about this earlier. I'm going to see if I can see if there's any detection of debris. I think that's more noise than anything else, but I'm kind of looking for a specific blue spot in an area that matches where the winds are rotating. So far, it doesn't look like it's too well on that one. It looks to be more interference than anything else, for lack of a common word for that. So again, as it continues to move through, again, Underwood Heights Elementary School, 527, Lingdon Springs, 529, Littleville, 531 for Littleville Elementary School. Again, that's going to be happening right now, next couple of seconds at best. Same goes for Littleville in itself. So Highway 43, Littleville, this is the junction that we're talking about in here. And it looks like from the emergency manager in Colbert County, it looks like they're getting quarter-size hail in downtown Littleville. So that storm is definitely producing what it looks like it's producing. That's why you're seeing the pink in there. That was the hail core I was talking about earlier.
What we're dealing with, it is this supercell thunderstorm right now, right on the border of Colbert and Franklin County. What we are still keeping our eye on, you in the Phil Campbell area, you have a strong thunderstorm coming your way. As we go to rotation on this, you'd see not as organized as the tornadic warm storm farther to the north into Colbert County. That weak area of rotation right here is what we're going to be keeping our eye on as far as any potential. Again, this thunderstorm in Franklin County does not have a severe thunderstorm warning on it or a tornado warning, but we do have the tornado warning in effect right now as we head into Franklin County, or Colbert County rather, and you can see over the past 45 minutes that storm continuing to move in. We'll go over to our velocity and I'll put it on a loop of 30 minutes, and you can see the development of this cyclonic rotation in the thunderstorm, the supercell, a little stronger actually when it was farther west. Over the past couple of scans, I know it's moving through relatively quickly, but you can see that red-green couplet becoming just a little less defined over the past few scans here on the Doppler radar, and that is a good indication that potentially we're just dealing with a strong rotating thunderstorm. But going back to hail here, as we use our hail tool, radar estimated, so it could be a little larger because you tend to get a little bit of melting on the way down, but hail size could be over 2.5 inches with this storm right now in Colbert County. We've got quarter-size hail being reported in the Littleville area, and that hail core is just going to continue to track east. So if you know anyone in Littleville right now, you have a very strong thunderstorm headed your way. We're going to go right over now and we're going to put that cone on this cell one more time just so you know exactly who is in line of this thunderstorm as it tracks north and east around 20 miles per hour. So we'll put the cone on it here. Littleville, you definitely need to find your safe spot at this time. So anyone in Legion Spring, please also find your safe spot. But as we put the cone on this here, there you go. Legion Spring, 534. Littleville, you should be in your safe spot right about now. And anyone in the LaGrange school area, continuing to monitor the supercell thunderstorm, does have a tornado warning on it. Nothing confirmed from the field, but even if we don't get a tornado, a dangerous storm nonetheless. Large hail, likely over 1 inch to maybe even 2 inches. Winds gusting 60 miles per hour. That could cause tree damage. We could see some power lines down. Could even see your power flickering, if not even some power outage possible into Colbert County and also into Franklin County, depending on your power network here. But this cone tracking east-northeast around 20 miles per hour on this supercell thunderstorm has weakened in the rotation department just over the past couple of scans, which is a good indication, but it still has the tornado warning on it. And actually, we're going to start to jump between radar sites here between High Top and Mississippi. But this area of rotation where we see the reds and greens meeting together, that's when you have the rotation around the thunderstorm. And that's right there, just west of Littleville, Highway 43 there, and towards 17. So that's the area of concern. And then out in front of it is likely where we would be seeing the straight line wind damage, and that would be out here to areas to the east and northeast. That's where we'd see the wind damage, likely some very heavy rainfall, along with the potential of some large hail. But the Littleville area right now, that is the biggest concern as far as tornado potential with this tornadic warned storm. We're getting reports coming in of, just more quarter-size hail being reported in the Littleville area. Going back to first alert Doppler radar, we'll pull things out for you just a little bit. Also notice the storm to the south into Franklin County near Phil Campbell, also picking up in intensity. We've got a tough radar spot here, but you could see some weak areas of rotation. Not as impressive as this is what we're seeing just west of Littleville. So over your past 15 minutes or so, or this is a 45-minute movie here, storms moving in from west to east. You could see that very well-defined tail hook that you tend to see with the supercell thunderstorm, and that would be right there in that area is where we would see the tornado forming, moving north and east around 20 miles per hour. So that is the main concern right now. Doesn't mean if you're north and east of that little tail on the supercell means you're not going to see a very, very strong storm roll through Colbert County. Heavy rain, frequent lightning. In fact, we're up to 60-something strikes right now just in the past couple of minutes. Large hail potential. We'll go back to our updraft scan here, or our hail potential rather. And that's what we're seeing, putting the query tool to work. 2-inch hail, around an inch and 9/10. There's 2-inch diameter hail and 2 inches and a tenth. So very large hail potential with this. The reports at the surface are a little smaller. In fact, quarter-size hail is usually just around an inch or so. This is radar indicated. Always get some melting on the way down, especially as our temperatures are in the 80s. Dew points, a lot of moisture to work with this storm. In fact, in the 70s or so. So this is what we're monitoring right now, is this storm right on the county line of Franklin and Colbert County over your past 45 minutes. You can see that storm not only crossing the state line, but also becoming a lot more defined in the supercell department. And it's also producing some very strong winds. We've got reports of a tree down just north of Littleville into Colbert County, and that's coming from emergency managers in northwest Alabama. So reports of a tree down. Of course, we could run into issues of power outages. Be sure to have multiple ways to get your warnings. If you do have a NOAA weather radio, be sure that is on. If you're finding your safe spot, be sure to take important things with you, such as batteries, medication, have a radio, have your First Alert weather app. It will be out in front of this storm, and if you do lose power, you at least have other ways to get watch and warning info as they continue to come in. But this is what we're focusing on, is the supercell thunderstorm into Colbert, and now the tail of that dropping into Franklin County. Again, this area is the area of concern. Littleville has not only seen reports of hail, but we've got reports of also some tree damage associated with this particular cell. Under a tornado warning for another 10 minutes as we'll go back to our rotation scan here. And it's this area where we're seeing that rotation near Littleville. That would be the area of main concern right now over the Legion Springs area. Mountain Star, places like Hester Heights, also in danger of seeing some of this thunderstorm activity with the heavy rain, the gusty winds, the frequent lightning. But Legion Springs areas just east of Lime Rock, Littleville, you need to take cover and find your safe spot right now. And it looks like even the Crooked Oak area, you could see kind of the backside of the storm as it continues to track east-northeast around 20 miles per hour. Going back to First Alert Doppler, and we'll throw that cone on for you one more time just to give you an updated path of this storm as it continues to move east. Hester Heights here, getting another report coming in from the National Weather Service from emergency managers. Hail size increasing to nickel size, and that's near the Douglas Road area in Littleville. Here's your cone. If you know where the Baptist Church is, 538, Bethlehem Church around 549, and Saints Crossroads right around 555. Again, now we're starting to creep more into Franklin County with the area of concern, that rotation. Still just north of the county line into Colbert County, but you in northern Franklin County at that need to pay particular attention to what is happening with this storm as it continues to develop. The hail core, very well defined, indication of very strong updrafts. We've got a lot of lightning with this storm, and it continues to provide reports of large hail. The lightning a concern, the straight line wind damage. We'll likely get a lot more reports of trees down, maybe some power outages over the next couple of minutes. Hopefully some more reports start popping up here, but the Littleville area, you are about to get hit with some very, very large hail and some very strong wind gusts, so be sure to find your safe spot, be away from windows as debris and also hail can break those windows. But everything tracking north and east. So if you're in Littleville and areas east of Littleville, please take time to find your safe spot, or not time, but rather urgently find your safe spot, as this is a very dangerous thunderstorm that we're continuing to monitor. People in Saints Crossroads may want to also start to take cover as this storm, and even as far east as Old Bethel. Saints Crossroads around 5:52, LaGrange School around 5:59, just after 6 o'clock near Old Bethel, and then near C.C. Smith Elementary School at the 6 o'clock hour. This storm basically riding the county line between Colbert and Franklin County. Tornadic warned storm for the next 7 minutes or so. Will expire at 5:45. No word yet on whether or not the National Weather Service in Huntsville will keep this going, but we do have a tornado watch just being issued by the Storm Prediction Center in Norman, Oklahoma. I will get you the time frame on that as I walk over to our First Alert Weather Center. Tornado watch will continue. We'll see where it's from. This is hot off the press, just coming in right now for the tornado watch. So likely what they're seeing is an atmosphere that is unstable enough, mainly areas west of I-65. I haven't got the official report coming in yet, and the details on this tornado watch as it's still uploading here, but we're obviously dealing with an environment that is favorable for tornado activity. We've seen these supercell thunderstorms pop up, weren't as impressive in northeast Mississippi. As soon as they crossed that state line, we started to see an area of better rotation. We'll go back to our rotation one more time to see what we're dealing with. It's becoming a little more, I hate to use this term, sloppy, if you will, but still seeing rotation enough that we're going to keep the tornado warning going at least for the next 6 minutes. No word yet on if this will be extended. Looks like they will. This coming from the National Weather Service now, getting a report of a backyard full of half-dollar-sized hail in Littleville, and that was coming in just 4 minutes ago. We'll go back to our hail core here. You can see it's not only the colors aren't only deepening and becoming brighter, that would be an indication of larger hail, but also a larger core. That means the updraft continues to increase in strength to produce the larger hail. That is a concern, but what we're mainly focusing on is the potential of tornadic activity. Going back to our First Alert Doppler radar, this is what we have right now. Very large supercell thunderstorm, and yeah, that's really starting to pick up in size here. Phil Campbell area, no severe thunderstorm warning on this at this time, but it looks like you will see a very strong thunderstorm of your own. But just to reiterate one more time, National Weather Service in Huntsville has issued a tornado warning, and this will go through the 5:45 hour. So we've got another 5 minutes on this. We're monitoring the area of rotation near the Littleville area, and that would be right here. This is becoming a little less impressive, at least over the past few scans here on radar. We've got reports of large hail coming with this, and we've got some very heavy rain along with frequent lightning. So this is a dangerous thunderstorm, tornado or not. We've got straight line wind damage. We've got large hail being produced. We've got reports of trees down, half-dollar size hail. That is very large, and that will cause damage. Okay, so the tornado watch is in effect for almost all of North Alabama, and that goes through 10 o'clock Central Daylight Time. So the Storm Prediction Center in Norman, Oklahoma, National Weather Service in Huntsville, they've gotten together and they've said, we've got a setup favorable for tornadic development. It looks like our shear is continuing to increase, and that would just lead to more of these supercell thunderstorms potentially developing as we head over the course of this evening. So still under a tornado warning for Colbert and Franklin County for the next 3 minutes. No word yet on National Weather Service chat if this will be extended. Just know, if you are in line of this storm, please go to your safe spot right now. Find an interior room, a bathroom, a closet, always good places. Make sure you're away from windows, as we could be seeing some debris popping up. Also, know that hail is falling with this storm, so be sure to take cover, head indoors if you know anyone outside in Franklin, Colbert County, and now even potentially creeping into Florence County. This is a dangerous thunderstorm. We'll put the cone on it one more time as it continues to track north and east. Saints Crossroads, Hester Heights, take cover. Someone asking if they're going to extend this tornado warning. No response yet from them. But Alva Chapel, you got about 2 minutes to take cover. Mountain Star, now is the time to really get to your safe spot. Manufactured homes, again, not the best place to be with this storm. Be sure to find a tornado shelter or a sturdy building. That's what we'll stay with. And then Old Bethel around at 6:06. So be sure to find your safe spot, take cover. Again, you can see at the bottom of your screen, a tornado watch has been issued until 10 o'clock. Tornado warning in effect until 5:45. So that gives us another couple of minutes of this tornado warning. We'll go back to the rotation. Okay, now this is becoming a little more impressive here near the Mountain Star, Saints Crossroad area. This area of concern is likely, if anything, where we would see any tornadic activity. So we're keeping an eye on the rotation. We don't have any reports from the field of any funnel cloud, any wall cloud. I'm not saying that's not happening right now. We could potentially even have a tornado on the ground. Everything we have seen is radar indicated at this time. So we'll continue to monitor the rotation. We continue to monitor the threat of large hail and also the threat of damaging wind gusts. Zooming in close here, anywhere along 43, likely seeing some very large hail. It's the Littleville area. Now the hail core becoming a little less impressive, but what we are seeing is the rotation becoming more impressive, where we see the pinks now with the greens. That's where we're seeing the area of strongest rotation, and that is the area of concern right now as we dip into northern Franklin County. This is north of Phil Campbell, but this storm here in Franklin County near north of Duketon here, that is also an area of rotation, but that does not have a severe thunderstorm warning or a tornado warning on it. The Littleville area and area towards Saints Crossroads, please find your safe spot now. Find a safe place. This storm is very, very strong, moving northeast around 20 miles per hour. Old Bethel, Saints Crossroads, anyone in line of this thunderstorm really needs to find their safe spot at this time. A basement and interior room, all good places to be. Pop over here to Fast Track. We'll zoom in. If we go over to First Alert Doppler, please, that would be best as to what we're trying to do here. We'll zoom in on this Supercell using our First Alert Doppler, of course, located in the Limestone County area, and we'll use our pan tool. This is the Supercell thunderstorm of concern. We're going to put a path on this, and that's what we're continuing to look at. So this tornado warning now for Colbert and Franklin, and now even into Lawrence County, has been extended until 6:15 this evening. We're going to go back over to First Alert 1, if you would please. So this, you could see here, the box has been extended. The red box here of the tornado warning has been extended into Lawrence County now. This goes through 6:15, dealing with a very dangerous thunderstorm at this time. And the tornado warning will go through 6:15. So one more time, looking at rotation, okay, has weakened in the past few scans, but still enough rotation where you see the red-green couplet here to indicate tornadic potential. So tornado warning for Colbert, Franklin, and Lawrence County. Rotation indicated by Doppler radar as we go toward our potential hail size pulling this up one more time, looks like the updraft is weakening. Again, this storm has the potential of producing half-dollar size hail in the Littleville area, and it still is very strong. So tornado warning in effect for Lawrence, Colbert, Franklin County. We have a supercell thunderstorm with rotation. Right now, the biggest area of concern would be right here as you head into the Mountain Star, Saints Crossroad area. Areas to the north and east also seeing some very heavy rainfall along with frequent lightning and gusty winds at this time. So very strong thunderstorm. This is what we're dealing with in Franklin, Colbert, and now crossing over into the Lawrence County area. Still moving north and east around 20 miles per hour. If we could go back to the Russellville camera, see if we could get anything coming out of that. Okay, this storm has slowed a bit, now moving northeast around 15 miles per hour. Trying to get our Alpha Cam up here if we could, please.
Eric, folks are starting to send us some pics of some really scary looking clouds.
Okay.
They're saying that they're seeing rotation.
Okay, that would likely be a rotating wall cloud. We saw a few of those yesterday afternoon, and that's basically the base, the very bottom part of a supercell thunderstorm. Typically where we see the rotation, it's just a little extension of that supercell. So Lindsay, continue to update me, and maybe if we could get some photos of those up on tag board. I don't know if that would be possible to get those photos in. Some eyes in the field always help what we're seeing. Of course, the radar, one thing. We don't have any reports from spotters. Not sure if spotters are on this storm, but it looks like we've got enough rotation to keep the tornado warning going through the 6:15 hour. Saints Crossroad area, that's what we're dealing with. Mountain Star Road near the Bethlehem Road area. Highway 56 toward the Piney Woods Road. That is another area of concern at this time. Over your past 45 minutes, you could see this supercell storm really getting that hook tail on it, and that would be where, if there was a tornado, that is exactly where we would find it with this supercell thunderstorm. We've got another strong thunderstorm to the south, although that not looking as impressive right now into Franklin County near the Phil Campbell area, although that one likely bring with it some large hail too. Going back to our first alert Doppler radar, this storm in particular, gusty winds, lots of lightning, although we are seeing a lot less lightning associated with this tornado warning, which is a good sign, and also the hail core is weakening just a little bit. Doesn't rule out any large hail potential, but it is less impressive than what we saw just 15 minutes ago, tracking northeast around 15 miles per hour, putting the cone on it just to give you an indication of where it's headed and who needs to take cover at this time. Looks like C.C. Smith Elementary School in that area just after the 6 o'clock hour. Of course, we're going to stay in continuous coverage until tornado warnings are no longer in effect. And now that we are under a tornado watch, just know that it is station policy to go to continuous coverage for any severe thunderstorm warning as long as we are under a tornado watch. So we'll be continuing to monitor the severe threat as we head through the evening and maybe even into the overnight hours, though most of this activity, like we typically see with summertime thunderstorms, this will start to weaken after we lose our daytime heating and that sun sets. But we do have a tornado warning in effect until 6:15 this evening. People in the Littleville area reporting some very large hail, continuing to track east and northeast. Old Bethel, you are in the area of concern. Wolf Springs, you might catch kind of the northern tip of this. Rotation has been indicated by radar. Nothing confirmed from the field. Apparently, we're getting some reports on social media. Anything you send us, hashtag WAFF48 is appreciated. That way we could find it. We could potentially share your photos with us, and it always gives us a good idea of exactly what this storm is doing right now in northwest Alabama. But as we continue to creep into Lawrence County, just know that it's just about time to find your safe spot. The storm relatively slow moving. Unlike yesterday's thunderstorms, they were moving around 40 miles per hour. This a very slow supercell thunderstorm, just tracking around 15 miles per hour to the north and east. So tornado warning stays in effect until 6:15 this evening. We've got Doppler radar indicated rotation. You can see the red-green couplet right here north of Saints Crossroads and northeast of Mountain Star, right on the county line south and east of the Littleville area. It's this area of rotation, not as impressive as it was, but this storm has kind of gone through cycles where we'll see very impressive rotation from time to time. Then it will weaken for a few scans. Then we'll start to see a better couplet forming again. But a supercell thunderstorm with the rotating updraft. We've got reports coming in from the field. I haven't seen the videos and photos just quite yet, but reports from viewers in the field saying that this storm is indeed rotating, likely a rotating wall cloud, and that would be imagine the supercell thunderstorm. It would be the bottom part, the very bottom cloud. That's typically where we see the rotation, and if we do see any funnel clouds, it would be coming out of that wall cloud. But reports from the field that yes, we are seeing rotation at the base of the supercell thunderstorm, and that is likely an indication of tornadic potential. No reports from the field other than a few reports of some power lines down. No reports of power outages at this time. I'm guessing some of you seeing your power flickering. We'll really go down to kind of a street view here. Saints Crossroads, likely seeing the strongest part of the storm right now near Tubbs Road, Highway 48, and also Highway 68. These are the areas of concern right now with the storm as it moves eastward. Large hail possible. We've had as large as $half size hail being reported in the Littleville area. Likely starting to see some slightly smaller hail, but enough to do damage to not only cars, but siding of your home, maybe even break some windshields of cars and obviously cause some damage too. But if you're in line of this storm and you're in the immediate danger, please do not go outside to move your car in. I would much prefer you go to your safe spot. You are more important than your vehicle, but still seeing that area of rotation right now. It's located over Foxtrap Road and continues to move east. Highway 87 there, that's where this storm is just likely moving. At least the rotating part of this storm is in that area. Winds gusting up to 60 miles per hour, highly likely with this on top of the frequent cloud to ground lightning. We continue to see this storm go through multiple phases where it will intensify and then weaken. Over the past 45 minutes though, on our NextRad radar, that's what we're seeing, and you can see the brighter reflectivities here. Tornado warning stays in effect for Franklin, Colbert, and Lawrence County until 6:15 this evening. You in the Hatton area should take cover, and also notice as we have this scan here that the storm is actually starting to turn a little east-southeast. It looks like it's kind of taking a little bit of a tail here. So Old Bethel now catching the northern end of the storm as it continues to track just off to the east and southeast. A very slow moving thunderstorm too. We're going to send it over to Lindsay really quick as I get some graphics together. Lindsay, what are you seeing essentially as far as social media reports from the field?
Well, Eric, we know that hundreds of our viewers who trust us to keep them safe during moments like this are watching us now. We want to thank all of them for joining us. Say hello to those watching from all different parts of our coverage area. We are starting to get some comments and some pictures coming in, and we want to show you. Here's something from Bart Moss from Russellville looking northeast. He tweeted this to James Spann and also to our Brad Travis. You can kind of see over this shot here this massive cloud. Look how dark that is and ominous. Eric talking about those huge wall clouds kind of moving across this area. Let's take a look at another one. What else do we have? This is from Mr. Heath looking south from Littleville. You can kind of see this is what we're starting to see in comments, this concern of these huge clouds moving through. This is so dark. We are seeing more reports of hail coming in. Here's a comment from Karen. She's saying sirens have been going off in East Lawrence. Lots of people. Oh, thank you so much for comments like this. Happy and thankful for this kind of coverage. I do want to point out one tweet that I got. Someone saying that there are folks out already trying to clear trees off of roads, trees that have come down in Colbert County. There are concerns for people who are already out when the weather situation is still so volatile right now. And so we do want to encourage people to stay safe and not be out in in dangerous conditions. We know that they want to get roads clear and that kind of thing, but please make safety first, and definitely don't be out taking pictures in dangerous situations. But we do appreciate, as Eric said, you kind of being the eyes and ears in this situation for us. Of any damage that you see, I mean, here's another one here from Jenna. Thank you for this. Looking southeast from Muscle Shoals out at Littleville. You kind of see just how dark everything is here over this neighborhood. Looks wet there, like it's been raining. And so we will keep an eye on things. Please send us hashtag. You can see how they're using the hashtag WAFF48. More comments coming in, wanting to know how this is going to be tracking tonight. Eric, can you kind of fill us in on the route that it will take? Lots of folks wanting to know if their particular area will be impacted.
Thank you, Lindsay. Again, if you do have any photos to share with us, hashtag WAFF48. Always appreciative to see kind of what's going on in the field. Right now, if we go over to First Alert 1, actually, we'll go to our First Alert live Doppler radar. I do have a cone on this storm, and it kind of gives you just a closer look as to exactly what we're dealing with using our First Alert Doppler. You can see this is the tornadic warned storm again through 6:15, so we've got another 15 minutes. We have seen rotation. We've got reports from the field of trees down. We've got reports from the field of very large hail, but using our 48 storm tracker here, 6:02 Old Bethel, so you have roughly 5 minutes to get to your safe spot. Flat Rock, 6:09, Wolf Springs, 6:12, heading out toward Oak Grove at 6:16 and 6:21, Nee Smith. So Old Bethel likely in the greatest risk area right now. We're getting reports of rotation from the field, not only via viewer photos and videos, but also Doppler indicated. That is what has warranted the tornado warning that we've been keeping our eye on. Now, if we could go over to First Alert 1, this is what we're seeing, kind of a similar look just over your past 45 minutes. You can see that little tail there. That is a Supercell thunderstorm signature on Doppler radar. Of course, a Supercell has the rotating updraft. I mentioned this earlier in our continuous coverage, but this storm has the rotating updraft, but also is a little higher in the atmosphere than what we typically see during our peak tornado season, that being in the spring. So if the base was a little closer to the surface rather, that would likely lead to a little more tornadic activity. But like we saw yesterday, cloud base is just a little bit higher, and that makes any tornadic activity just a little more difficult. You've got to have just the right ingredients in play. Of course, we do have the moisture, we've got the updraft, and we've got the rotation. Dew points at last check around the 5 o'clock hour were in the mid to upper 70s. That's a lot of thunderstorm fuel as you put that into perspective. But now moving east of Littleville, Littleville had a report of $half size hail. Hail size, the updraft indicator, kind of, that's what we're looking at, and that's what we're seeing here, but it has been weakening, and that's a good sign. That means this storm is starting to weaken. Our lightning strikes have almost all but diminished just over the past 15 minutes. Now we're going to start to use our high top radar here, and the area of rotation does seem to be weakening quite a little bit. Now we'll go over to the Mississippi radar, and again, any rotation is east of Littleville. That's what we're seeing with that little couplet. We're going to go ahead and start WAFF 48 news at 6 right now. We'll continue to track this storm. Tornado warning in effect for Franklin, Colbert, and Lawrence County until 6:15. Back in just a moment.
You're watching WAFF 48, your first alert. This is breaking news.
All right, let's get right back to it. Tornado warning in effect now, including Lawrence County. That goes for another 15 minutes until 6:15. First Alert Doppler radar tracking rotation with this thunderstorm and also indicating some areas of weak shear. Now, if we're seeing reds and even yellows and whites, that would be a far more significant situation. We haven't got any reports from the field. That's the one thing that we're dealing with right now. No reports from trained spotters, but definitely seeing some rotation. As we go to First Alert Doppler, the Hatton area, there's your tornado warning for portions of far northeastern Franklin County, far southwestern Colbert County, and now creeping into western Lawrence County. The Hatton area, please find your safe spot now. We'll go back to First Alert Doppler as the source, please. I know we're showing it here, but we do have the cone on it. Thank you for that. 48 storm tracker. Excuse me. Old Bethel around 6:02, Flat Rock 6:09, Wolf Springs 6:12, 6:16, Oak Grove, and 6:21, Nee Smith. Very slow moving thunderstorm is what we're dealing with here. moving east-northeast around 15 miles per hour. So it's going to dump a lot of heavy rain and some large hail in a short amount of time. Of course, the heavy rainfall could lead to some localized flooding concerns. Also seeing reports of trees down, these strong wind gusts, even if we don't have a tornado. This storm producing very strong winds gusting over 60 miles per hour. And then on top of that, we got hail and the lightning threat actually going down just within the past couple of scans. And that is good news because it means the storm is starting to weaken a little bit. We've seen weakening rotation, also a good sign. So let's go back to First Alert 1 now, please, as the source. Again, this is our Supercell thunderstorm on our First Alert Doppler radar, giving you that 3-minute advantage. Hatton right now kind of in the crosshairs, so if you're in that area, please take cover at this time. There's that thunderstorm becoming a little less organized. That's kind of what we're seeing over the past 30 minutes. This is a 30-hour movie here as it moves through the Littleville area. That was probably its peak intensity. Now as it continues to track off to the east toward the Hatton area, you can see the brighter colors becoming a little less impressive. Doesn't mean it's a weak thunderstorm, still under a tornado warning, but just saying it's not as impressive as it was just over half an hour ago. Hail core was huge just 15 minutes ago. Now starting to see a smaller hail core. That means the updraft is potentially weakening, and any hail potential that we see is less impressive than what it was doing just a little bit ago. We're going to scan just off to the west here. Very, very weak couplet here. I would be impressed if the Weather Service did continue this warning, at least looking at the latest data coming in. Now, if we look at the rotation here on the storm as we head into Franklin County, north of the Phil Campbell area, just a significant weather advisory out for this thunderstorm in Franklin County. But you could see that weak area of rotation, a little disorganized north and northwest of the Phil Campbell area. That's where we're seeing any potential rotation. Could still see some very heavy rainfall along with some hail. Shear detection here. And yes, if you are in Phil Campbell, you might even want to find your safe spot at this time. Although no tornado warning, no severe thunderstorm warning, doesn't mean it is not a very, very strong thunderstorm nonetheless. Again, scrolling to the tornado warned storm right now as the shear main area of shear and concern crosses the county line into Florence County. We're still indicating just some weak shear. So that's what we're looking at as far as this thunderstorm. First Alert Doppler continuing to scan the skies here. Tornado warning in effect until 6:15. We'll get you an updated cone on this as it continues to move off to the east. We'll zoom in just a little bit for you here. And County Road 131 and also LaGrange Road would be the main areas of concern right now. Looks like we'll put the fan on it for you. Hatton area definitely needs to take cover at this time. Just looking at the National Weather Service chat, just got a quick update from them. Tornado warning continues. Just for radar indicated at this time, potential 3/4 inch diameter hail. Franklin and Lawrence County, Colbert County, the storm has now moved east of you. Excuse me. But it looks like we'll continue to keep the tornado warning on it. The Hatton area, 627. Gum Springs Church around 631. This is the storm right here, continuing to track to the north and east. So that's the area of concern. That's what we're seeing. Going to go back just to reiterate, North Alabama under a tornado watch. That goes through the 10 o'clock hour, seeing enough instability in the atmosphere right now and enough shear and spin. Excuse me as I take a drink of water. Enough shear and spin to maybe develop further tornado warned storms as we head through the evening hours. So the tornado watch, you can see right there at the bottom of your screen, in effect until the 10 o'clock hour. This supercell becoming a lot more disorganized, and that's good. That means that this storm is in fact weakening. We are keeping our eye on another cell just to the south into Franklin County. Hail core less than impressive right now, but still some large hail falling, 1/2 inch to 3/4 inch, maybe inch diameter hail. That would be about quarter size, but this storm has a history of producing $half sized hail. Rotation would be mainly into that Hatton area, kind of a dead zone here for both the high top and the Mississippi radar, but this is what we're looking at. We continue to see areas of weak rotation, that shear not as impressive as what it was just within the past half an hour. But if we go off to the south, that's where we're seeing a little more shear into Franklin County near the Phil Campbell area. that's where we're seeing some shear. Again, no severe thunderstorm warning on the Franklin County cell at this time. We're continuing to keep an eye on the cell right now that is creeping into Lawrence County over your past 45 minutes. You can see the Phil Campbell storm actually starting to pick up a little bit on that tail, and we've got this storm that is becoming not as impressive when it comes to at least returns on the Doppler radar. We'll check back in with Lindsay here in a second if she's got any new photos or anything to share with us as far as what's coming in from our viewers at this time. Lindsay, do you have anything new to share with us?
Well, Eric, from the comments that we've seen, people are saying that it looks like the storm is dissipating, but obviously hundreds, if not thousands, are dialed into your coverage and to what you are tracking currently. But we are starting to continue to receive pictures of scene setters, if you will. Just a very ominous evening out across the Tennessee Valley. Look at this. This is looking east from Athens Limestone. Folks using hashtag WAFF48 to catch our eye of anything that is coming in. This is another one that we got looking southeast from Muscle Shoals out at Littleville. Just heavy, thick cloud cover. This is another one looking south from Littleville. Look at just all of that thick, dark clouds. Has a lot of people concerned, a lot of people dialed into the weather tonight. This has just been such an active weather pattern, and our viewers are keeping us informed as we work to keep them informed. Eric, thank you so much. You have been working so hard this afternoon to track this line of storms. I know our viewers are appreciative. So many have commented about that, as always, when we have a severe weather threat. From Russellville, looking northeast, look at that. That is just so dark and eerie. And so we are just keeping an eye out for any damage reports we have. Lots of people said that they saw hail tonight. If you have pictures of that, please send them to us. We had some reports of some trees down. Please let us know where that is happening. We are continuing to reach out to emergency management officials in these areas to see what they are getting in from the community. And we will, of course, keep you informed throughout the night tonight. Eric?
Thank you. If we could go over to our first alert Doppler radar. Just in from the National Weather Service, they are considering canceling the tornado warning early. This is set to go through 6:15. We're seeing weakening rotation with this. We've seen the updraft and the hail size continue to decrease. Straight line wind damage, frequent lightning, heavy rainfall, all still a possibility with this thunderstorm right now. Very strong storm as it creeps over the county line into Lawrence County right now, western Lawrence County, using our first alert Doppler radar. 611 Wolf Springs, 615 Oak Grove, Neesmith 619, and the Hatton area 621. Okay, the tornado warning has been allowed to expire for Franklin and Lawrence County. That does not mean that we are out of the woods just quite yet. We've got dew points still in the mid to upper 70s. Tornado watch remains in effect for most of North Alabama through the 10 o'clock hour. We've got the ingredients in place. We've got more storms firing up off to the west that could develop and continue to intensify as we head through the evening hours. Right now, most of this activity should start to dissipate after we see the sun set this evening and we lose our daytime heating. But for now, tornado watch in effect, and it is station policy. If we do have a severe thunderstorm warning with a tornado watch in effect, we will stay on the air and continue to give you continuous coverage. We're going to get our newscast started here in just a couple of minutes as Lindsay gets ready. But tracking this out, strong thunderstorm right now moving into Lawrence County. Slow moving thunderstorm, less than impressive here on first alert Doppler radar as far as its radar signature goes. Moving east around 15 miles per hour. Has a history of reporting trees down. Large hail, as large as $half size hail in Colbert County near the Littleville area. Frequent lightning. Not seeing as much in the form of lightning right now, and that is a good thing. Going back over to First Alert 1 as our source, please. Over your past 45 minutes, you could vaguely see the deterioration of this thunderstorm as it creeps. Littleville, that was likely the strongest part of the storm. Nothing confirmed touching the ground from any storm spotters. We do have some viewer reports coming in of some rotation, what is likely a rotating wall cloud at the base of that thunderstorm, and that was at the 5:30 hour when the cell was near the Littleville area into Colbert County. Now, as we scan to the south, this thunderstorm near the Phil Campbell area into Franklin County, also very strong. No severe thunderstorm warning on that at this time, but doesn't rule out heavy rainfall, frequent lightning, gusty winds, and the possibility of seeing some hail. Rotation, not as good as what it once was, and hail size, at least the hail core for the tornado warned storm, or previously tornado warned storm, has weakened. Phil Campbell likely seeing some hail here at this time. Areas north along Highway 75, 243 there toward the Carroll Crossroads area. Keeping an eye on that, and we've got some radar indicated shear at this time. We'll continue to keep you updated on the severe weather potential as we head through the evening hours. Tornado watch in effect until the 10 o'clock hour. We will stay with you with continuous coverage as needed. But for now, we're going to send it over to Lindsay Connell for our news. And of course, we've got you covered here in the Weather Center. Quick update here in just a few minutes.
Eric, thank you so much for everything, for keeping us safe tonight and keeping an eye on those storms. Happening right now, former NASA Administrator Mike Griffin is being sworn in as the Undersecretary of Defense for Research and Engineering. The ceremony is happening at the Space and Rocket Center as we speak. In his new role, Griffin is the
Firm.com. Naja Sherman.
Potential is there for those showers and thunderstorms, but that lid has been kept in place for the most part. But a couple of these towers are starting to break through that cap, and we'll just have to wait and see if they continue to mature over the next couple of hours. Let's go ahead and Next Gen Live here, and there's that one lone thunderstorm here across northwestern portions of Greer County. For the majority of us, we're dry, quiet right now, but we're going to be watching that closely as it's slowly drifting off towards the northeast, and it has flared up a couple times, but as you can see, not really quickly getting its act together as it drifts off towards the northeast. We'll be tracking that closely. Looking at the severe weather potential, the watch box includes all the counties shaded in blue for the potential of damaging hail and damaging winds. There is a tornadic threat because of a boundary that's kind of snaking across the area that has a northeast wind to a southeast wind. So a little bit of turning of the winds right at the surface. But those storms really have to start to get their act together to reach that potential of any of that. As right now, the chances are starting to diminish a little bit because of we're losing that daytime heating as we head over the next couple of hours, and that's how you break the cap, other than bringing in a big storm system out of the west. And here this evening, there's not a big storm system coming in from the west, so you have to see that daytime heating to kind of work that atmosphere over and break that cap. So right now, kind of put that bullseye here for the greatest chance of a couple isolated thunderstorms here southwest Oklahoma, and they'll move to the east southeast eventually once they do develop here over the next couple of hours. As we are tracking some more showers and thunderstorms off towards the northwest, towards Colorado and Kansas. They will be making their way off to the southeast here for the overnight. So again, like we had yesterday, some good rains. We're going to have some more rain chances here this evening and definitely overnight as these thunderstorms here along the jet stream. Look at the jet streams this far south for the middle and latter half of June. Not bad. So that's why we're talking about rain chances and some severe weathers. That jet stream usually is a little bit off towards the north as this cluster of thunderstorms will dive to the southeast and will affect a good portion of northern and central Oklahoma here for the overnight as another round comes our way tomorrow evening and tomorrow night. So if you've been hoping for some rain, yes, we're going to see some rain, but unfortunately, we're going to have to be talking about some severe weather as well. Nothing but sunshine here across Oklahoma City. 88 degrees of south wind, that dew point 69. It's a little thick out there with that humidity as those southeast winds bringing in the moisture, upper 80s to low 90s. And again, that storm chance off towards the southwest. And then here late tonight, after midnight, complex of storms comes in from the northwest and then drifts to the southeast. Temperatures will fall into the upper 60s to low 70s. Tomorrow, low to mid 90s, a southeast wind, and the front and dry line will enter here across the panhandles in far northwest Oklahoma late in the afternoon into the evening hours. And with a jet stream overhead, a lot of humidity, these storms will mean business tomorrow evening here across the panhandle in northwest Oklahoma. And that's why I've included a moderate risk. Not only because of the coverage, more storms than just isolated, but the potential for tornadic storms, very large hail, and damaging winds do exist. So here, Woodward, Alva points off to the northwest. Be on the lookout here as we head towards 5, 6 o'clock in the evening. And then they'll try to spread off to the southeast, but mainly to the east here across the northern half of the state tomorrow evening. And Monday, isolated storm chance, but we start to see that heat really start to build back in. And we turn off the faucet and say hello back to summer with sunshine and temperatures into the middle 90s with a lot of sunshine. So we'll have to watch closely as we head over the next couple of hours, maybe an isolated storm chance as we head later on this evening, but better chance as we head towards tomorrow evening as well in northwest Oklahoma.
We know you'll be tracking it.
Yes.
Thank you, Justin. All right, now it's deadline day for Carmelo Anthony. Is he in or out? Steve has the details next in sports.
More fun than flipping off a cliff, and there's some big drops out there. So, definitely.
Downpour. This is nowhere near the potential that we do have in the atmosphere of producing severe weather. So it's going to get its act together, or at least try to get its act together over the next hour, and we'll have to watch that closely. But we had that lid in the atmosphere kind of holding those storms from really forming as we speak. But that severe thunderstorm watch there in the counties in blue until 10 o'clock. So we'll have to watch it here over the next couple of hours. But the best chance here across southwest Oklahoma, southwest of Oklahoma City, about a 20 to 30% chance of a couple isolated strong to severe thunderstorms. Here this evening, it's off towards the southwest. Here later on tonight, northern half and maybe central Oklahoma could be waking up with a little bit of heavy rain, some winds, and some thunder and lightning. Details on that storm chance and also severe weather for your Sunday here coming up.
Thank you, Justin. Now, an update to breaking news out of Norman tonight. Officials say one person is dead following a shooting. That shooting happened around 5 this afternoon in the 600 block. Officials say they are not searching for a suspect right now, and it's not clear what led up to the shooting. We do have a crew at the scene, and we'll be bringing the very latest throughout the evening. Now, things got heated today at the Attorney General Republican primary debate. News 9's Kaylee Bourgeois was there as the three candidates answered the tough questions ahead of Tuesday's vote. She has the story from the Oklahoma Attorney General's office tonight. Kaylee.
Topics today ranged from State Question 788 to the opioid epidemic to those intense campaign ads. No topic was off limits for incumbent Mike Hunter, Gentner Drummond, and Angela Bonilla today. The three faced off for more than an hour, answering questions from three journalists, including our own Aaron Brilbeck.
Excuse me? I believe he said you lied.
Things got
Within the last half hour, officials say right now there are no reports of damage, but it's too early to tell. Right now, they do believe that it may be some minor wind damage. There may be some minor wind damage, but they're still checking for any structure damage. We will continue to follow the latest and let you know on any updates. Now, during a dangerous storm, the best place to be is inside, but after severe weather hits, we always appreciate it if you can safely send pictures or videos from your home. Take a look at this viewer video from Hazel Green. This is between Walker and Joe Quick Roads. So far, the views of that video have made it into the thousands. Now, for 24/7 coverage you can count on for severe weather, always go to waytv.com. We're going to be tracking this storm system as it makes its way through our viewing area all night until that tornado watch hopefully expires tonight at 10. And we'll see you tonight on Way 31 News at 10.
In Hampton Cove, Tortora's, the place to go for food, family, and fun. Everybody loves great pizza, pasta, salad. You get it. Tortora's, the place to go for great food. Hampton Cove behind Publix.
Raise your hand if you watched the sunrise in a tree stand, made it rain on a dry field, buried a four-wheeler. Alabama Farm Credit's right there with you. We completely understand the love of country, financing the things you need to grow, like hunting land, poultry house improvements, beef cattle, a tough tractor. When you're hatching a new plan, we're the ones raising our hands to help. Alabama Farm Credit.
faculty staff positions, and he's not considering tuition hikes to raise the revenue. But we are just days away from Election Day, and with that,
Birmingham up to Huntsville.
Yeah, this was a tornado-warned storm yesterday that did produce 3 injuries, 2 adults and 1 infant as a tornado struck a mobile home. That was yesterday evening. And the National Weather Service went out, surveyed the damage. This information just coming into us now. That tornado out of Coleman, it was rated as an EF2. So that information just in there, and we're still following that risk for rotating thunderstorms again today. It's a very active last couple of days here across the southeast. And that's where we still have that tornado watch box in effect for Coleman, along with Huntsville there across northern portions of Alabama, southern counties of Tennessee, right there along the border. Just off to the west, though, we're following more severe thunderstorm watches that remains in effect from Oklahoma City back down across the northernmost counties of Texas, just to the west of Wichita Falls, and even further to the northwest across eastern Colorado, western parts of Kansas. More severe watches there. That goes in effect through 9 o'clock Mountain Time. You can see much of the lower half of the nation is under that risk of severe storms this evening, mainly for damaging wind gusts and hail, but certainly you can't rule out a few isolated tornadoes. Like we've already seen a few of those warnings this afternoon. Timeline here through the overnight hours shows those storms focusing right over the state of Oklahoma. Oklahoma City likely to see a few rounds of showers and storms into the overnight, some of which, by the way, may be on the strong side, but we're more so concerned for tomorrow event across parts of the south. That's where there is now a moderate risk for severe storms. It does include areas of western portions and central portions of Kansas, northwestern Oklahoma, northwest of Oklahoma City for damaging winds. That's going to be the #1 concern with these storms tomorrow. We just seen a powerful line move through last night that was responsible for producing gusts more than 80 to 90 miles per hour across northwestern Oklahoma. Some of the same areas may be hard hit again tomorrow from this storm system. And as it continues making its way to the east, that threat for severe weather will do that as well. And by Monday, we're watching severe weather here across parts of the nation's heartland too, from Iowa down across parts of Missouri, Kansas City in that threat zone for severe weather. So going to be continuing to follow that. Also, real quick, we're monitoring the tropics. We have 3 separate systems. The one off to the west has an 80% chance of development. That may be, and will likely be, our 4th named storm this season for the eastern Pacific. Coming up, they'll bring it back here to the U.S. mainland, of course, following our top story, that's severe weather. Break down that severe threat a bit more further, coming up next.
Hi, Phil Swift here for Flex Glue, the super strong rubberized glue. Flex Glue is a powerful adhesive with amazing instant grab.
A couple of these could pack a punch here across northwest Oklahoma for the overnight in the form of some high winds. More on that here coming up. 88 degrees. Warm, humid, sunny here across Oklahoma City. Live look from Air Comfort Skycam Network, but it is a little sultry out there with those dew points upper 60s and a light southeast wind, and that'll remain the case here this evening. A very small chance here across central Oklahoma of an isolated shower and thunderstorm. Temperatures will fall down into the upper 70s to low 80s by 11 o'clock under a light southeast wind. And then here across, Ouachita, Kiowa, Caddo County out towards the southwest, an isolated storm or two here in the next 2 to 3 hours. Other than that, dry for the rest of the evening. And then here after midnight, that line of thunderstorms off to the northwest will peel off towards the southeast. Best chance here across the northern half of the state. A couple of them could make it as far south as central Oklahoma. Wind, heavy rain, and a lot of thunder and lightning will be associated with that line of showers and thunderstorms. And with that wind threat, I went ahead and put a low severe weather risk, especially here, Alva, Woodward, up here across northwest Oklahoma, 60 to 70 mile per hour winds with that line of thunderstorms. It will gradually weaken as we head throughout the overnight, but still some gusty winds, and don't be surprised if the kiddos climb in bed with you because of all that noise outside with that thunder and lightning. Temperatures elsewhere, upper 60s to low 70s tomorrow, lower 90s, middle 90s, a south breeze, mainly dry for the majority of us, maybe a morning shower and thunderstorm, and then dry during the afternoon, and then more thunderstorms develop late afternoon into the evening hours, a moderate risk. Severe weather likely here across northwest Oklahoma as it looks tomorrow evening. Winds, hail, and even a isolated tornado or two, and that line of thunderstorms will gather strength and move to the east. I think we might stay dry here tomorrow evening and overnight here across Oklahoma City. It looks like majority of it may just be off towards the north. Front comes by, maybe an isolated thunderstorm, but a weakening as the heat takes over. After Monday, it's goodbye rain chances and hello sunshine, middle to upper 90s, heat index near 100. And yeah, summer does return as we head towards next week. But over the next couple of days, we'll watch out for the heavy rain threat and that severe weather threat over the next couple of days.
We know you'll be watching it.
Yes,
Thank
we
you
will.
so much, Justin. Well, it's deadline day for Carmelo Anthony. Is he in or out? Steve has the details next in sports.
People are going to be heading down to the beach too, David, across the south. Even though it's been on the stormier side as of recent, the temperature beating up with a heat index value exceeding 100 degrees as to tomorrow. We still have a lot of activity to talk about tonight. So let's get right to watch here. Likely, as David said, likely could see some of these counties on the back end. But further to the west, 2 severe thunderstorm watches that's across parts of Colorado, Kansas. That's through 9 o'clock. 10 o'clock Central Time for Oklahoma City down to Lawton, as those storms will continue to fire up here this afternoon and this evening. But you can see a large area at risk of severe storms. We'll likely see a few more of these here with large hail and damaging winds across parts of the south. That timeline here across the area shows those storms ongoing over the next several hours. Then we're going to watch what takes place here into Oklahoma late tonight into the early morning hours. A powerful line of storms likely develops there. This verifies will be wind-making storm. Strong winds. We just seen that take place yesterday as well, last night across parts of Oklahoma with gusts more than 80 to 87 miles per hour was the maximum gust. That was near Woodward. That was last night. Also had seen a few storms across the mid-Atlantic states. The strongest ones have moved off the coast, but we still have a couple of scattered showers in the northeast. And the big story here into the northeast, really, for the first full weekend of summer, this just does not feel like it at all. We have the showers, but the temperatures have been a bit on the cooler side. And moving into the second half of the weekend, we keep the cooler weather across the northeast and a bit soggy too, with lots of showers in place. Not much to the north of New England, but the temperatures will stay on the cooler side. Fortunately, on Sunday, if you don't like the cold, at least it'll warm up a little bit more by Sunday afternoon. These are the highs so far today. Boston maxed out at 65 degrees. Since then, we've cooled down to near 60. Portland, Maine into the 50s at this hour. Tomorrow, the real heat is down here across the southeast. That's why we're talking about beach day weather here going into Sunday. Look at the highs on Saturday. Currently, we're cooling down a little bit more thanks to the afternoon showers and storms. But when you factor in the dew point, it just still feels so warm out there. Like
Back in the 50s, sod farmers invented hydroseeding as the easiest way to grow beautiful grass. But you're still doing this. You want a great-looking lawn, but have dry spots, dog spots, high traffic areas, and shade. What a nightmare. You seed, water, and wait, but the only thing growing are the weeds. It's no wonder the seed gets washed away, blown away by wind, and eaten by birds. Not anymore. Introducing the revolutionary Hydro Mousse Liquid Lawn with spray and stay technology. The grass grows where you spray it. Start growing with ease. If you can water your lawn, you can hydro seed. Simply attach to any garden hose and turn the dial to seed. Forget the guesswork. Hydro Mousse shows you exactly where you're planting. The Green Mousse formula contains an eco-friendly sticking solution that attaches the seed to the soil and a conditioner to loosen hard dirt, allowing it to absorb water, resulting in a terrific looking lawn. We sprayed Hydro Mousse on this vertical burlap wall, and look, the seed locks in place, even upside down. And the grass grows like crazy, even on a vertical wall. It grows in extreme heat or cold conditions. It's perfect for dog spots, high traffic areas, large areas, and shade. And no more guesswork. Hydro Mousse includes a mixture of high-quality seed that blends perfectly with your existing lawn. It's never been faster or easier to get professional results at a fraction of the cost. So why pay a fortune for sod or seed the old-fashioned way when you can get the complete Hydro Mousse kit for only $19.95 to bring your lawn back to life? That's enough to do 100 spots or 50 square feet. But call now and we'll double the coverage. That's an incredible 200 spots or 100 square feet. And don't forget to ask the operator for large lot and acreage discounts. So don't put up with this when you can have this.
Call 1-800-355-1323 or go to hydromousse.com.
Why use the Home Advisor app to find home improvement pros?
I found a great local painter when I was in line at the grocery store.
I read reviews of a few electricians while walking my dog. I booked a plumber with just a click.
And it's free to use. Go to homeadvisor.com or download the free app.
Boston, Massachusetts. Pictures coming in earlier this afternoon, and we're dealing with some clouds and scattered showers. It's actually been pretty quiet out across the Boston area the past couple of days, with many of the storms actually sitting off to the south, well off to the south of Boston. Welcome back here to Weather Nation. Meteorologist Matt Monroe with your northeastern forecast, and this is where much of the action has been over the past couple of days here. Ohio, West Virginia, down through Virginia, but as the storm system's working a little bit further up to the north and the east, that's why the rain is kind of pushing up to the northeast along with it. Binghamton, over ½ inch of rainfall, working on ½ inch out across Watertown. Portland, some rainfall there. We have had some hit and miss showers today around Boston, New York, Philadelphia, and still some of the heaviest rain over the past 24 hours just off to the south of Richmond, Virginia. All right, we'll check out the temperatures and then get back to the rain forecast in a second. D.C. average high this time of year is about 86 degrees. Today 83, upper 80s on Sunday, getting pretty warm as most of the rain leaves the region. 85 Monday, down to 82 on Tuesday. Then we warm things back up into the lower 90s by Thursday and Friday of next week. New York City, kind of a big bump, upper 60s today with the clouds and the showers there in the Big Apple, but more sunshine. Look at what happens tomorrow. 87 degrees for the high temperature on Sunday. Then a little cool down, 81 Monday, upper 70s on Tuesday. Then we warm things back all the way into the upper 80s on Thursday and Friday, kind of like Washington, D.C. Boston, 65 today with the clouds and showers, warming it back up to 77 tomorrow. Average is 78 degrees. On Monday, a little cooler, back down to about 70. Upper 70s on Tuesday, and then that warming trend continues. Lower 80s Wednesday, Thursday, back in the upper 80s out on Friday. Friday. So here's the forecast. This is Saturday night. We've got the low pressure tracking through New York up towards Boston. The good news is it actually brings much of the rainfall off the coastline through early tomorrow morning. Now, the bad news is we're still fair game for a couple of strong severe thunderstorms the rest of Saturday, including Philadelphia, D.C., and down through Richmond. We're not thinking a huge threat of tornadoes. However, there is a 2% chance between Philly, Baltimore, D.C., and just to the northeast of Richmond. So we got to watch out for that. Could see some rotation with some of these storms, but there's a better chance of some damaging hail threats and also a high wind potential in excess of 58 miles an hour. Some of those straight line winds possible through Philly, D.C., Delmarva Peninsula, all the way down through Richmond. Now, overnight tonight, things kind of calm down and quiet down, and it looks like by Sunday morning, lows around 62 in Hartford, 60 in Boston, upper 60s in Philly, lower 70s D.C., down through Richmond, Pittsburgh at 68, and Buffalo at about 63. Okay, here's the Sunday forecast. There goes the cold front bringing most of the rainfall out to sea, but there's a warm front back off to the west, so we'll see some showers kind of initialized right here, West Virginia, in through Northern Virginia. A little more moisture comes in upstate New York, Vermont, New Hampshire, and Maine as well. This is now Sunday afternoon around dinner time. New York looks dry, Philly looks dry, but to the north and to the south, we're going to see more scattered showers and mostly cloudy conditions here. So we got to watch out for that through Sunday afternoon. Sunday night, here we go, another front kind of tracks off the coastline and bringing most of the rainfall with it, and back behind it, we're nice and dry. So Monday's looking pretty good. Wouldn't you know it? The weekend is over. Back to work most of you go, and the weather gets a little bit better. Severe weather should not be an issue throughout the day on Sunday, with the exception of Charleston, West Virginia. Points back to the west and south of Charleston. Could see some marginally strong to severe thunderstorms there. High temperatures on Sunday. 87 New York, upper 80s around Philly, 77 degrees in Boston, Richmond 93 for you, Pittsburgh at about 80, and then cooler to the north, Buffalo at about 72, Watertown, New York at 70. Monday morning lows 64 in Hartford, matching Boston, 70 D.C., 72 degrees across Richmond, upper 50s for the Monday morning low out across Buffalo. So here's Monday's forecast. There goes the front, there go the clouds and the showers. Monday is looking really pretty nice here. A lot of sunshine working in through New York, down through Pennsylvania, out across Virginia. Might squeeze out a couple of raindrops out across Maine, but that should just about do it through Monday night at 7 o'clock. Obviously, Monday looks pretty dry, so severe weather not going to be an issue there. Highs on Monday, 81 New York, 78 degrees in Hartford, 80 Pittsburgh, and 86 in Charleston, West Virginia. Looking for forecast accumulations for rain. Actually, not so much until probably Tuesday night and through Wednesday. Then a decent stripe of rain out across upstate New York. New York City, here's your extended forecast.